What's up everyone, it's your boy DevQuest, and today I'm going to teach you how to design UI buttons for your Roblox games that look like this using Photoshop. Now, I guess you could also use Canva if you don't have Photoshop, but you just gotta make sure you can replicate what I do. Before we move on, I want to let y'all know that the UI for my game is now 70% done, and for a quick showcase it looks like this. So, we have the menu which opens up the shop, stats and map. Top right we have inventory, quests and settings, which surprisingly do work. Also we have a stamina bar, and as you can see it also works. Moving on, we gotta first ensure that the background becomes a layer. We do this by right clicking on it and turning it into a layer. Then, to make it transparent, we will use the lasso tool and circle the whole screen. Next, we press delete and boom, we have a transparent background. Next, we are going to use the rectangle tool in order to create our button. Now, make it according to however you want, but I recommend the bigger one. After that, you will see little dots. Well, these dots help curve our rectangle and make it look more like a button. Therefore, the next thing we will do is to press Ctrl T and right click on the shape. Select Warp and use the inflate tool to give it a unique look. I prefer my buttons not too inflated, but you should do it the way you want. Moving forwards, we have to design it. Because today I'm making a buy button, I have to make it green. A quick tip is to always make your button look clickable. Therefore, we are going to right click on the rectangle and click on blending options. Tick the bevel and emboss feature, and ideally you can play with these your way, but the way I design my buttons is I make the highlights have a 19% opacity and the shadows have a 17% opacity. Also, please make sure that the shadows are black. Next, I will make the size be 25 and soften be on 3 so that it isn't too soft looking but not too rough. Now we should move to strokes. The stroke is like a contour, but the way we design it will make our buttons seem more clickable to our players. First, I want you to click on the plus icon, which I can't do because I already have 3 here, and we now have to design our strokes. The first stroke I will keep at the smallest size, being 24. For the gradient, we will select a very dark green to a brighter green. And for the scale, I like mine on 150%, but you choose it your way. For the next stroke, we will use a bigger size like 35, and gradient wise we will use a very dark green to a darker grey. For the third stroke, we will use a size of 49, and for the gradient we will go from a dark green to the brighter green. Next, take the inner shadow feature, and for the color use the brightest green with an opacity of 30%. A distance of 5 pixels and a choke of 94% with a size of 35 pixels. Next, use the plus icon to add another shadow feature, but this time the opacity is at 100%. The distance is of 30 pixels and a choke of 46% with a size of 80 pixels. Please ensure that the angle is at -90 degrees for both of them. Moving onwards, take the gradient overlay feature, and now the gradient will be from a dark green to the brightest green there is. Now the button is made, but we lack a glowing effect. Therefore, using the rectangle tool, if we right click on it, we have ellipse. Now ellipse is like a circle, so if we design a smaller one, then rotate and scale it according to however you want, we should have the perfect size. Next, if we click on blending options and we look at its outer glow, we should have the brightest green or something similar to what we have. Then lastly, just take the drop shadow feature. Text wise, I use a font called Fat Frank. And if we go to blending options, we should enable the contour feature. We should have the stroke with a size of 10 and the black color. Enable the inner glow and change the color to white if necessary. Have a choke of 17 and a size of 191 with a range of 50. And lastly, enable the outer glow section and have a spread of 32 with the size of 29 and the range of 50. Now, this is how the button looks. I hope this tutorial helped because UI is very important when it comes to the aspect of a game. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. This was DevQuest. Peace.